This is my brand new 2020 Honda Civic Si Coupe. In this video, I'm gonna be going over my first impressions of it, as well as the changes that Honda made for 2020. I'm also gonna be doing a proper break-in for this car. It has like 42 miles on it right now, so we're gonna break it in properly and treat it nicely for the first 500 miles. I'm gonna make a separate video series on that. It's gonna be a two-part series, so follow along if you wanna know how to properly break in your car. I'll actually be referencing the owner's manual for that break-in. So I'm not gonna beat on it in this review, in this first impressions video, but I am gonna run it through its paces the best I can, so I hope you enjoy. All right, so let's go ahead and start. So the first thing that you notice about the car is the redesigned front bumper. Now, the Civic Si actually shares this front bumper with the Civic Sport for the 2020 model year. It's a good way for Honda to separate the Sport and Si models from the LX and EX and EXT and those other models. So I think it looks really good. When the 10th generation Civic first came out, I was a 9th gen owner, and I didn't really know how I felt about it at the time, but it has grown on me. Obviously, as you can see, I bought one. So here's what's new, and it's the same color as the body. So the only part I don't like about this is a gloss black, right? This is one tone, and you can see here, this is a different tone, and it's not gloss. It's just kind of like a very flat black, just a plain body panel. I'm not too crazy about that part. But Honda did add LED lights and fog lights, which I'll show you guys right here. So they finally made those standard for 2020, which is awesome. Yeah, this grille really has grown on me. I think it would be really cool to black these out or get clear inserts for those, but you know, that's down the road when I start doing some modifications. Also new for 2020, the Civic Si gets a standard set of 18-inch alloy wheels. They're pretty nice looking black color. I think when they detailed it at the dealership, they I don't know what the heck they used on it, but it looks a little weird, so it's gonna need a wash. But I think those look really good. So I wanna make a quick shout out to Folsom Lake Honda in Folsom Lake, California. I had the easiest time buying this car. The salesman and the sales manager were both phenomenal, zero pressure, they were great. He actually added in some wheel locks for me after the sale was made, so he threw those in. He also threw in some splash guards, which is nice. The back end of the car is exactly the same as it was the previous years, which I think is fine because it looks great as it is. Yeah, I just think this car looks so good. That's about it for exterior changes. So let's walk up to it. So for interior changes for the 2020 model year, we have different seats. And I'm not exactly sure how I feel about them yet. They feel kind of cheap, to be honest. I understand it's a Honda Civic and it's not the Type R and it's not gonna have the Type R seats. The seats just are a little uncomfortable, so I might add something myself, a little lumbar support or something down the line, but for right now, they're fine. Let's go ahead and turn it on. So it's very quiet, 51 miles on it right now. So for the display here, I think it's really cool how Honda still has the tachometer right in the middle. I do miss the 9th gen Civic Si. I do miss all the infotainment you had up here. I thought that was really cool. But this is nice too. You can press your little information button here and change to the settings that you want to see. So these are gonna be your shift lights for when you're full throttle. This is a G-force meter. This is a stopwatch, so I would be interested in trying this out before and after I tune this car. I am gonna do a few modifications to this car. I'd like to get an intake and maybe a bigger intercooler, upgrade the exhaust. Nothing too loud, nothing too obnoxious, but I would like to get a little more sound and maybe a little more horsepower out of this thing. Maybe 15, 20, do it safely. We'll definitely have a lot of before and after type stuff. So here's the fuel economy. So let's go ahead and reset A, just for the fun of it. Okay, there we go. Awesome. Let's see what else we have. Your oil life, awesome. You can display the music you're listening to. right there. So this is for when the phone is plugged in, which I'll show you guys later. I'm in the States, so I'm gonna leave it on miles per hour. So I like to leave it on the boost gauge. Let's go ahead and just peel this off right now. It's getting kind of hot because I'm wearing a sweater, so I'm gonna turn the AC on. So you have your climate button here, so you press that and push it for the AC. You can either drag it or press the setting that you want it at, or you can just press these buttons down here. This is to reduce the fan speed and to increase the fan speed. So this car has dual climate control standard. If you push this, it will connect to what you are doing over here on the left. If I take this off, I can move this one down to low and this one stays at 63. So that's pretty cool. I've never had that in my car before, and that's nice. So it has heated seats standard, which is nice. Of course, this has push to start, keyless entry. Honda's had that in the Civic Si since 2014. I had a 2013 9th gen Civic Si. It did not have push to start. Honda was doing a lot of weird things with the 9th gen Civic. They only had that for actually 4 years, which is a super short run for a model, for a car model. But anyway, this video is about the 10th gen. So, all right, let's go for a drive. One thing I don't like is that the seatbelt is so far back there. I'm used to my 9th gen Civic. I had a sedan and it was super easy. It was right here, but I feel like I have to reach all the way back to the back of the car for it. Clutch in, push the button, push down on the parking brake to release it. Let's go for a drive. The very first thing I noticed when I drove this car was how light the clutch is, especially compared to my 9th gen Civic. You could most definitely learn how to drive stick on this. I wouldn't recommend that because it has luxuries like hill start, assist. It just has so much technology, and I think if you're gonna learn to drive stick, you should do it on something that is pretty bare bones and a little older, so you have to do everything yourself and learn the hard way. That's my opinion. The car is very quiet. So sport mode actually injects some of the engine sound or manufactured engine sound into the cabin through the speakers, which I can see why Honda did that. And I can see why, after all these reviews say how kind of cheesy it is and how people don't really prefer that, I can see why Honda decided to not listen to people and continue to do it, because it is a 1.5 liter engine. It's not going to sound very good. Like, the more displacement, the better your engine is going to sound most of the time. There are some 4-cylinder cars that sound phenomenal. I thought my 9th gen Civic with the 2.4 liter K24, I thought that sounded great. Cars like the S2000, the Boxer engines from Subaru sound amazing. But this is a 1.5 liter engine, and it's a new engine at that. If I remember correctly, Honda didn't start using that engine until 2016 when the 10th generation Civics came out. Let's go. Yeah, this is so easy to take off. There is a ton of rev hang. Why do they do that? Getting into the turbo a little bit. Oh, you can hear it. That's nice. This is the first turbocharged car that I've owned, and I think it's really cool. I love the feeling when that turbo kicks in. This car feels very smooth. Let me go ahead and put it in sport, and we'll see what happens. So it's really cool. I think you can see that on the GoPro here. But when I press the sport button, it changed all the gauges to... It changed all the accents on the gauge cluster to red. So I know that the general rule for braking in your car is not to exceed 4,000 RPM and about 50% throttle. So I'm not going to exceed that, but I'm gonna get just about there, and we're gonna see how it moves. Phenomenal shifter, by the way. Honda does an amazing job with their shifters. Oh yeah. There is a lot of turbo lag, but when it comes in, that's a really nice little jolt it gives you. And my AC is on too. Not that that makes a huge difference in power, but it does make a difference. And when we're only talking about 205 horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque, I'll take all the help I can get with making power. Oh, that feels good. I like this car, I have to say. I've actually been thinking about buying one of these for over a year now. I went and test drove a 2018 back in probably May or June of last year. And you know what? I'm glad I waited until 2020. Because this is a nice car. For 2020, the Civic Si comes standard with Honda Sensing. And if you guys don't know what Honda Sensing is, I'll give you a brief version of it, because I am going to make an in-depth video later on. Yeah, this feels good. So Honda Sensing is their step into the AI arena with things like lane departure warning, road departure mitigation, which is when you're going over 45 miles an hour, it'll detect when it'll follow the white lines on the road for the lane that you're in, and if you start to veer off into another lane without your blinker on, then it will kind of give you a little nudge back in your lane. Another thing it has is collision mitigation braking system. What that is if you are coming up on a vehicle pretty quickly and Honda Sensing senses that you are going to ultimately get in a collision if you don't react, it will react for you and it will apply the brakes. So if you follow my channel, you'll know that I recently had a 2013 Honda Civic Si and a 2000 Corvette, and they're both 6-speeds. So this is such a luxury for me to have all these technologies. It's very cool. There is a lot of rev hang on this car, and I will get this tuned after I put a couple modifications on it. So other than that, my first impressions of this car are really good. I enjoy the way the car handles. I've taken it around a couple turns, going pretty quickly. Felt very well planted. It feels like a big improvement over my 2013 Si. I already have Honda Flash Pro. I had that for my 9th Gen Civic, so I have that. So anyway, that'll do it for today's video. I just wanted to give you guys my first impressions, what I think about the car so far, how it feels to drive. I'll be doing an in-depth review after I do the break-in period, which I'm going to have a 2-part video series on. They're going to be pretty short videos, but I'm just going to be explaining how you should be treating your new car. I'll do one video from now until 250 miles, and then another one from 250 to 500, which I believe is the proper break-in period. So if you'd like to see what I'm going to be doing to the car for modifications and tuning and visual modifications and stuff like that, hit subscribe and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.